Hello and welcome to What's Next. We've got Indy NXT Oval coverage here on Tuesday night. We're here at the Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee for 45 laps. Apologies. 45 laps of coverage here tonight. Working through practice right now. 36.09 the strength of field on offer here tonight. Watching cars taking time here. We're riding here with Dustin Bolgren, his number 9 machine. And we're rolling into qualifying now. We will ride with Ty Keela. Get his car loaded in correctly. So he opts to start qualifying here tonight. Works his way out of the pit lane here. That Lucky Charms machine. He'll work his way down the front straightaway now. Nice and steady through turns 1 and 2 here. Starts sliding non-corner exit towards that outside wall. These outside walls here come at you pretty quick. Not too unlike the Iowa Speedway we would have saw earlier this season. Big wide arc off of 4 here for Keela. Bolgren shoots to the provisional pole with a 25.863. See if anybody improves their second time around. David Lee chiming in the chat room. Not Indy Kirkwood. He is in the field here tonight. Ty Keela will put up the provisional pole time with a 25.531. Clemick to the point now. Very tight up at the top of the field. Ty's having some fun now. We'll get to an outboard shot. We'll bust out the blimp. Watch him do donuts. A couple cars still opted to take time. We'll watch with Ryan Campbell in the Dennis Hauger scheme that I just realized today is a Dennis Hauger scheme. Dennis Hauger, of course, the 2025 Indy NXT Series champion. Will be driving for Dale Coyne Racing in the INDYCAR Series next year. See what Ryan here has to do. Running nice and high off in turns 3 and 4. He's looking to take his first of 2 qualifying laps. That'll be his first. Likely looking for the second one to be quicker. We'll see how that turns out for him. Nice and low in turns 3 and 4 here now. Only good enough for 9th for Mr. Campbell. We saw Israel Alba shoot to the pole, and we'll get through the grid. Oh, Kirkwood to the pole right at the last second. And we will get the grid here with the timing sheet and run through our starting lineup. So on the pole will be Indy Kirkwood with goodness me. Micah. Thank you for reminding me. go. Is that taken care of? Knew I was going to miss a thing here. So Indy Kirkwood will be on the pole with a 25.465 alongside Israel Alba in the second spot. Anna Klemek, the Deer, will line up third alongside Ty Keela and his road racing machine in fourth. Raphael Eckert will line up fifth alongside Dustin Bolgren in the sixth spot. Micah Mixer will line up seventh alongside Jarrett Corey, making his Indy NXT Oval Series debut here at the Nashville Superspeedway. John Corin will line up ninth alongside Brian Campbell in the 10th spot in the other road racing entry. Chris Wetz will line up 11th alongside Crash Neon in the 12th spot. Tyler Villamere will be 13th alongside Miles Morris in the 14th spot. And Chris Fletcher will start 15th of 15 here tonight with a 26.020. So we are getting ready here to go from the Nashville Superspeedway. We just had ourselves a wonderful finish in the INDYCAR Oval Fixed Series at Indianapolis. 4 wide at the line. Almost, rather. I think it might have only been 3. Regardless, 4 cars within a very, very tight margin coming into the race. Single pace lap here at Nashville. We'll then have the field in control of Indy Kirkenbauer and his Miles Rowe scheme here tonight. Get this race underway here shortly. We are expecting some side-by-side racing here early on. Word on the street is we do not have the IndyCar style white line in this car. There's a bit of lifting involved, and we'll hopefully get an onboard shot with one of these cars throughout the race. But the pace car is now off, rolling off turn number 4. Field in control of Indy.
Green, green, green.
He'll get off the line here now. Good launch for Israel Alba on the outside. We'll see if he decides to tuck into line here. It looks like he will. We'll fade back to the outside ever so slightly. We'll hop a couple cars back in the field now, with Anna Klemek running in the 4th spot as Alba looks to the outside of Kirkenbauer. We'll see if he has the momentum going into turn number 3 and 4. Indy's going to fight back on the bottom now. Ty Keela's looking for a way forward. He's going to opt for the high side behind Israel. That Lucky Charms car. Still 2x2, couple rows deep still. Got Jarrett Corey running the high line behind Brian Campbell. But that's Raphael Eckert, my apologies. Guess it might technically be both. Dustin Bolgren sets the fastest lap of the race. Alba has cleared Kirkenbauer for the lead here. Ty Keela is now working the outside lane on both cars there. We'll stay with the battle for the front here as it continues to heat up. Move Keela up to the 2nd spot. He'll fade high coming into turns 1 and 2. Alba using all the track on the exit there. We'll see if anybody can generate a run coming down the back straightaway here. Ty Keela goes back up towards the high side. Alba's starting to slowly work his way forward. Doesn't seem to have the momentum off of turn number 4. Ty Keela will get in the draft here. Start pulling down the front stretch here. Fades back to the high side. Try to build up as much speed as he possibly can. Kirkenbauer riding in the 3rd spot, hot in tow. Does look like runs can be generated here if you get things built up. We saw Alba working the high side of the track early on in this event and was able to clear down to Kirkenbauer. We'll see Ty use the draft down the front straight, fade back up high again, see if he can make something happen still. It's going to be very difficult, but still doable to make a pass, seemingly. Tied to the high side. Awfully close to Alba there on the entry of turn number 3. We'll see how the runs build coming down the front straightaway here one more time. Heading on to lap number 7. Kirkwood will look low. Real tight off the corner there as Kirkwood starts to fade up into the path of Ty. No contact made. We keep rolling. Israel Alba staying out near the front of the field. See if we can hop back a couple cars as Anna Klemic is in the 5th spot with Eckert hot in tow. Eckert looks to the high side on Klemic now. See how that works out coming into turns 3 and 4 now. Alba's stretched his lead out to just under 0.3 of a second now. Got Eckert working that high side. Klemic's going to be on the bottom here with John Corin behind her. See if Corin can generate a run on the high side here to maybe make a move. He'll hop into the draft here. Single file now. Alba with the fastest lap of the race now. He's starting to pull away from Ty Keela in the 3rd spot. Corin's going to look low on Klemic coming into turns 3 and 4 now. Awfully close there. Corin's going to lift just a little bit. Not make contact with Klemic. Let's hop back a couple more cars now as we see Jarrett Corey working on Brian Campbell for the 8th spot. He's going to look low here. Jarrett making his Indy NXT Oval Series debut. He's the 15 car of this 15-car field. He just barely made it in the iRating department, but good to see him making the most of the top split here. Couple cars 2x2 a bit further back. I believe that will be Micah Mixer alongside Miles Morris. Klemic sets the fastest lap of the race with a 25.584. Still 2x2 deep in this field. Thought maybe there was going to be a car to look 3 wide on Morris there, but they think better of it. We'll go back to the battle between Corey and Campbell now as Crash Neon has entered the picture. He's going to take it 3 wide into turn number 3. That clears up. Corey's going to get to the lead of this. Clear Campbell for the 8th spot. Alba now out to a 0.4 of a second lead. Rest of the field still running mostly single file now as the 2 wide battles have mostly resolved until you get back to Chris Fletcher and Micah Mixer for the 12th spot. Micah looks low. Chris Wetz is going to look high on Mixer now. We'll move through the field here shortly at the conclusion of this lap, get an idea of where everybody's sitting. See basically all of them on screen here, but we'll make sure we give everybody a little bit of time on the screen. So as they round off turn number 4 here, we'll hop back to Israel Alba at the front of the field. He leads just under 0.4 back to Ty Keela now. Indy Kirkwood runs in the 3rd spot. We'll hop back to him. Dustin Bolgren runs right behind him in 4th. Raphael Eckert will be in the 5th spot. John Corin and Anna Klemic are battling side by side for the 6th spot. So we'll see them right behind Raphael here. We saw Jarrett Corey make the pass for the 8th spot over Brian Campbell, who runs 9th in that Dennis Hauger scheme. Crash Neon runs 10th. Winner at Iowa Speedway this season. Miles Morris runs 11th in that Chip Ganassi Racing number 11 machine. We got Chris Fletcher running in the 12th spot with current championship points leader Chris Wetz in the 13th spot. This looks like it might be a good opportunity for some cars to maybe make up some ground on Chris in the point standings. And then Micah Mixer and Tyler D. Villamere will round out your top 15. And we'll work back towards Bolgren and Kirkenbauer as this battle has heated up. Bolgren's looking to the outside of Kirkenbauer now. Rafael Eckert is here. We'll see if Indy's able to hang on the inside here at all, or if that outside lane's going to prevail. He gets a little bit of a bobble there coming through turns 1 and 2. He's going to get back alongside Eckert now. Eckert's going to have the toe of Bolgren ahead, although Indy's now going to be in the wake coming through 3 and 4. We'll see where Bolgren opts to move here. He's going to stay relatively high, cut low. Indy's going to stay committed to that bottom lane on Eckert. And finally tuck back into line now. We see Anna Klemek and Corwin, John Corwin going side by side for the 6th spot. Looks like deeper in the field, you're still able to generate some side-by-side action, which is a good sign, given that this is a relatively large track for these cars, and it is one that features on the real-world Indy NXT calendar. Would like to say, if you are enjoying our coverage here, we do these on behalf of the community. If you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a GoFundMe link in the stream description, or you can hit us with a super chat here on YouTube. Jarrett Corey's up to the battle for the 6th spot now as Brian Campbell joins him. This battle is heating up with nearly 4 or 5 cars getting into it. As you see Crash Neon off into the background deep there. Just about reaching the halfway point now. We'll get laps to go up on the screen as they cross the line. It'll be 23 laps to go, just about. Odd number lap counts make that a bit harder to do, but we'll get it up there nice and early here. So we'll hop back to Corwin as Anna Klemek has well and away cleared him. Brian Campbell's going to make the move for the 8th spot back on Jarrett Corey. Alba's lead now out to 1 second and change. Slowly stretching his legs in the clean air. That seems to be the place to be. Not atypical for an open-wheel car on the ovals. Anna Klemek's looking on Indy Kirkenbauer for the 5th spot now. Indy falling backwards through the field after starting on the pole here tonight. Might have been an unexpected turn of events for him. He'll fight tough on the outside here with Klemek. Klemek almost clear off of turn number 2. He's going to dive low here. We're going to get some gaps up on the pylon now and get an idea of where maybe another battle will crop up. Campbell is working on John Corwin for the 7th spot now as we see Kirkenbauer look back to the high side on Klemek. We'll ride with the front of these two duos to try to catch them as they come. So Klemek will re-clear Kirkenbauer just barely, but Indy will fight back on the outside once more. Great stuff here from the middle portion of the top 10 here. Now we will now hop forward to the battle for the 3rd spot. As this tightens up actually all the way to 2nd as Ty Keela leads a train of himself, Dustin Bolgren and Rafael Eckert. They're running 2nd through 4th. We'll see if... Oh, contact into the wall for Bolgren. That'll give Eckert a good shot at a run down the back straightaway. He'll stay high as Bolgren fades low. We'll see if Eckert can make some do on the momentum. John Bloom in chat. Looks like a fun car. Is it comparable to the F4? So I don't know the exact horsepower of the F4, but this has a significant horsepower uplift compared to the F4. It's 450 horsepower and on the road courses, they get an additional 50 horsepower from the onboard push-to-pass system. So it's a big horsepower increase, but it's also a big change in the aero balance and a much greater emphasis on mechanical grip over aerodynamic grip, which causes the cars to handle a bit differently than, say, an F4 car, but certainly a step up on the ladder here on iRacing. The F4 featuring in a number of series at the D license for Formula Racing. This car features in a road series that we broadcast Monday night here on the channel in the C license. So if you can get through a couple F4 races, drive nice and safe, cleanly and competitive in the F4, you can find yourself racing Indy NXT on road courses before too long. Absolutely, John. Always happy to fill people in on everything on the road to Indy. Yeah, it will be faster than the Super Formula Light at a number of tracks, particularly ones with sizable straightaways due to that horsepower advantage. So the field is mostly strung back out now. We're going to hop back to the battle for 7th. It's the closest thing on the speedway in terms of a outright battle. Ryan Campbell's looking for a spot on Corwin. He's going to get to the low side now. He's going to run alongside. Corwin's going to have draft from Kirkenbauer ahead. See if Campbell can continue to fight on the low side here as Crash Neon enters the picture slowly. This is a three-way battle for 7th. And as we enter 13 to go, let's actually hop on board with Ryan Campbell in this Dennis Hauger scheme. We'll watch as he tries to work for that 7th spot. You see Kirkenbauer off in the distance getting real up near the wall. Slight contact potentially with Corwin on the outside off of turn number 2. Campbell's going to get nice and low here. Corwin's going to have a bit more momentum running that higher lane on the outside. Campbell will tuck back into line now. Come nice and low. Still working that low line. We'll ride on board for one more lap here with Campbell. It is a difference between this car and the IndyCar bigger brother, if you will, is that this car does not have an aero screen on it, so you do have to use tear-offs in this machine. So it has a push-pass system and a tear-off, so these drivers are having to get used to having a couple more buttons at their disposal. At least on the sim side of things, you'd be reaching up and grabbing tear-offs in the real world. Campbell's still fighting on the inside for that 7th spot. Kirkenbauer does look to get slowly bigger in the ahead here. And we've got Chris Wetz looking on Campbell now for the 8th spot, just as we get out of Campbell's cockpit. So move Wetz temporarily up to the 8th spot. Campbell will fight back on the high side. This is going to become a three-way battle for 8th. Here comes Campbell back on the low side. We'll see if he can make any sort of move back on Wetz. Wetz going to have the momentum off the corner on the high lane. This race will be over before you know it. We've got 7 to go here. We're 2x2 for 8th and 9th, or 8th and 10th, I guess. Got 2 battles side by side here late in the going for the bottom portion of the top 10. Jarrett Corey off in the background there in the 12th spot. Just behind this, maybe looking to take advantage of a potential mistake from these cars ahead. We've got 6 to go now. This remains the closest battle in the speedway as Campbell does make it back by Chris Wetz. We'll see if they can sort themselves out and start working a little bit ways forward. Maybe catch Corwin ahead of them. Israel Alba now out to a 1.2 second lead. That's been a steady increase. It hasn't been quite the gap we saw. I believe Dylan Smoot pull at Dover last time out. I believe he almost came out to a 5-second lead before a late race yellow that bunched the field back up. Anna Klemik is looking on Rafael Eckert for 4th. We'll watch that now. See if she can make a late move on Rafael for a further position up the grid. Ryan Campbell with the fastest lap of a 25.579 late in the going. He's caught Corwin. We'll try to hop back to that shortly. Or now, rather. Campbell's there. Corwin's still on the outside. He'll have momentum down the front stretch here. We see Dustin Bolgren fastest lap of the race. I think Campbell is going to try to run low here again. And if he can build just enough steam to maybe dive Corwin into turns 3 and 4. Not quite. I think he's got to be patient here. Corwin real high that time. Wetz looking for a hole anywhere he can find it. Campbell's still low. This is the last lap of the race. Alba will be your leader, but we'll watch this battle for the 7th spot as it gets real tight. Campbell's going to be on the bottom once more. Don't believe that there's going to be any opportunity there, but Chris Wetz is going to build some momentum on the outside this time. That's not going to be quite enough. So Israel Alba will be your winner here tonight with Ty Keela finishing 2nd. We'll run through the rest of the field as everybody crosses the line. Hit Alba in case he opts to celebrate here tonight. That looks like a no. Ty Keela might have some fun, though. Head down the pit lane for him, mayhaps. So I think overall this was a pretty solid race here for Indy NXT at Nashville. The field did eventually start to string out a bit, but deeper in the field you saw cars being able to generate runs through the draft and work that outside lane to their advantage. And cars on the inside could pass as well. If you built up the right run, lunged it, and were able to clear. So an all-around solid event here at the Nashville Superspeedway. We'll get the finishing results up here shortly. So, Israel Alba will be your winner here tonight. Ty Keela in the Rogue Racing entry will finish 2nd. Dustin Bolgren will finish 3rd in his number 9 machine, and Rafael Eckert will be 4th. Anna Klemik rounds out the top 5. Indy Kirkwood will finish 6th after starting on the pole here tonight. John Corwin will finish 7th over Chris Wetz in 8th. Brian Campbell will finish 9th, and Chris Fletcher will round out the top 10. Crash Neon will finish 11th. Jarrett Corey in his Indy NXT Oval Series debut on the top split will finish 12th. Miles Morris will finish 13th. Tyler D. Villamere will finish 14th. And Micah Mixer, IndyCar community favorite, will finish 15th and last here on the night. We shall see who, if anybody, we've got podium interviews. We've got Ty in here. I'll get his car on the screen here shortly, as I believe he may be the only one we have for an interview here tonight. Ty Keela. He will finish 2nd here tonight. We'll get him on up here now. Ty, Jacob Collins, P1 Broadcasting. You got me?
Hey, Jacob. How's it going?
Pretty good. It was nice to see you out here on the ovals here in Indy NXT. Kind of talk us through working through here at Nashville Super Speedway. Looked like it was quite the journey to get to the front early, and then once you got near the front, you kind of were able to settle into a rhythm pretty solid.
Yeah, I think I was lucky to get up there when I did. I don't know, just making moves early as possible. I wasn't really sure how it was going to race exactly. It felt a little loose, and I know we've had conga lines, so it kind of was a little bit of the same, but not quite the same, so that was definitely fun. Had a little pressure behind me there. Alba was flying, so dirty air being an impact, that was cool. I could kind of tell it was, so I definitely started feeding some the guys behind me when I felt like they were getting some runs, and it was nice to be able to use that in this car for a change. Haven't had that yet, so.
Yeah, it looked like deeper in the field, cars were able to kind of use the draft and the dirty air of cars around them to make moves either from the high side or the low side. So it looks like, generally speaking, deeper in the field, you can make some passes, but obviously, much like IndyCar itself, the dirty air near the front makes it difficult to gain on or pass the leader ahead. So a bit of a different change of pace here compared to a number of races we've had so far this season. Kind of talk us through what you feel like this teaches us about this car on the some of the bigger, maybe more flat tracks that we may come to see the rest of the season.
I think there's hope. I think there's hope that we can not have just pack races. That's the good news there, I think. You know, tires feel like they started to matter. I think you probably saw some people who started falling back. I don't know. I mean, you saw Indy. I think Indy fell back. I don't think Indy got damaged. So I don't know. Maybe it's a tire thing. I'm not 100% sure there, but maybe if it's nice and hot, we can figure out how to get some good racing going.
That's certainly the view I'd like to take on it, and we've got ourselves some good races the next couple weeks in North Wilkesboro and Gateway, so hopefully those will put on some good shows going the rest of the week. But we got to get you shouting out your friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want. Podium finish floor is yours, Ty.
Shout out to you for putting on this broadcast for us all. We appreciate that. Shout out to everyone at Rogue Racing. Ryan came out for this race, so that was fun. I'm trying to get the podium spot with him. Shout out to all the P1. I don't know if I mentioned everyone at P1. And shout out to Alba. That was a really good race on his part, or their part, not sure. And Dustin. That was a really solid race there. So all the competition out there was real nice today. So yeah, that wraps it up, I think. I'm trying to get Dustin in here, so we'll try to get him invited in and see if we can't get him a spot to interview. I just need to get him an invite link. So
sounds good. We'll get him on up here when he gets in there. But shout out to you, Ty, for finishing second here tonight. We hope to catch you out here through the rest of the season here on P1.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you, Ty. And that will be your P2 finisher here tonight, Ty Keela. We'll wait for Dustin, as we've been informed. He is going to try to make it on in here. Get his car up on screen shortly, but I believe we'll get Israel Alba up here first. We can find his car on the speedway. So there's Israel Alba, your winner here tonight. Ty Keela in that classic Lucky Charms car. It's starting to build its own brand for sure out here on the broadcast. So Israel Alba, your winner here tonight. He rolled past Indy Kirkwood early and was able to roll on through. Apologies, trying to get Dustin on in here. Get his car on the screen here. That number 9 machine rolling the high side. All right, we got hopefully him rolling on here shortly. Dustin, P1 Broadcasting, Jake McCollins here. You got me?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Well, it was good to see a fresh face here on the Indy NXT Oval Series coverage. Kind of talk us through your race. You started a couple cars back from where you finished here tonight. Talk us walking through the field for you here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty clean. Qual wasn't quite what I was hoping for, but I think we were 6th there on the start and just kind of bided my time there, tried to file in and just see what we could do there and just kind of pace. Once I got up there to tie, it was just trying to keep the car loose enough and not get too tight. And, I felt like I knocked the fence down 2 or 3 times, but all in all, pretty good race.
Yeah, we saw a number of cars kind of fighting, especially later on in the going. They were having struggles trying to keep it out of those walls, especially off turn number 4, seemingly. So a number of cars make contact there. Kind of talk us through kind of the tire management or, managing that loose, tight condition, trying to keep it where you can keep the car rotating, especially when you're in the tow of other cars. Seems to be kind of the name of the game once the field kind of strings out, is being able to manage your tires in the air of other cars.
Yeah, and just I think you got to move around and just try to keep some clean air on the nose for me, and then there was a little bit, for at least for myself, a little bit off throttle time there, just trying to work that and just especially behind Tyler, just trying to work whatever line he wasn't going to, while still trying to get some draft on the straightaways there. So yeah, definitely there was some tire management going on, just trying to keep that right front under it.
Yeah, that right front's so crucial to keeping these cars pointed the right direction. You kind of lose that thing, and the car wants to fade further and further into the wall. But you held on to it for a podium finish here tonight. If you got any friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want to shout out, floor is yours, Dustin.
No, I definitely want to thank. I had 2 teammates in there, Chris Fletcher and John Corwin. Kind of 3 of us ride together. This is our first time running this. I think we're going to try to hit them up the rest of the season. So, we kind of run together as a group. Tonight was my night, but I would expect you can see those guys up getting podiums too the rest of the season.
It's good to have you out here, Dustin. We'll hope your teammates are able to join us eventually throughout our inaugural season of Indy NXT Oval on P1. And you keep going fast and having fun. We'll catch you later.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
And that'll be Dustin Bolgren, your 3rd place finisher tonight. We'll get his due here tonight. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to Indy NXT Oval coverage here on P1. We'll be back tomorrow night. Gary Godso and the crew will be broadcasting, I believe, the Formula Indy Series from Homestead. That'll start at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Thursday night, we will have IndyCar Pro Series Qualifier Split 2 from the Texas Motor Speedway back again in the Indy NXT machines. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark Murphy will have the AMA Xfinity Series Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They will be at Martinsville. Friday night, we'll take the AMA Truck Series back to Martinsville. Mark Murphy will be on the call for that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we will be back Monday night with coverage of IndyCar Open at Auto Club, 8 p.m. Eastern Time Monday night. The Onyx Lotus 79 Series will take on Motegi at 9:05 Eastern Time. And then the Indy NXT Road Series will take on the Indianapolis Road Course at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the coverage here tonight, and to all those that do the difficult jobs around the world. We thank you for doing all that you do to let us have all the fun that we do. Have a good night, everyone.